Ow! What's up, guys? So this week we're doing Swedish meatballs. This one, I don't know how long this video is going to be, actually thinking about it. It should be pretty good though. And yeah, we have to make the meatballs, we have to get the pasta boiling, and then I'm gonna make a like cream gravy, like the regular Swedish meatball gravy. And my meatballs are not gonna be like a traditional Swedish meatball recipe, it's gonna be a recipe that I just kind of started doing myself. I don't want to say it's a recipe I invented or anything, because the food's been around fucking since the dawn of time. So, yeah, but it's a good recipe, and it's one that I do pretty often whenever I do meatballs and meatloaf and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll get right to the, I think we're gonna have to do pasta first. I don't know, let's go to the first part of the video. Alright, so we're doing linguine for this. I wanted to get like egg noodles, as one's called like pappardelle, something like that. I'm not saying it right for sure. It's an Italian name. But I wanted to get some of those, I couldn't find them. And I didn't want to get regular egg noodles because they're just like meh. Like the little swirly ones is all they had, and I didn't really want to deal with that. So we're gonna do linguine, because linguine is good. So all I gotta do is boil this guy up. We'll get a little shot of me putting it in water and stuff. It's pasta. I did this on the first video. Got a bit of oil, a bit of salt. Alright, so while I wait for the water to boil over there, I'm gonna do the actual meatball batter, which is gonna be the main part of this video pretty much, besides cooking and making a gravy, which I'm kind of excited about. I could actually show off like making a roux and stuff, which was not intentional. I don't plan anything, I'm shopping, I see food, and I'm like, I want that, so that's what I do. So, let's do meatballs. Oh, where did I put like everything? Wait, I just slapped those eggs down. I'm hoping they're not cracked. Okay, so we have to do some chopping first. My meatball recipe has tomatoes in it, it has onions in it, it has a little bit of garlic in it. The other part of the garlic, or some of the other cloves, I'll be using for the gravy. But yeah, we're gonna have to chop these guys up first, and then we'll get to the whole mixing thing. You know, I haven't gone over any like cutting stuff in any of these videos. What is this, video 5? I think it's 5. And I haven't gone over the way I cut stuff like at all. So we're gonna go over that a little bit. So we'll do it on this half. The rest of it will be time-lapse, that's fine. So what I do, mostly for dicing, I don't even know if you can see this really well, it's fine, you can see it. So I do 2 or 3 little cuts across, depending on how like tiny you want the pieces to be. And these have to be like fairly little. They don't have to be like fucking minuscule, like microscopic, but yeah, I do that. Then you cut down across. And then you go this way. Also, the most important thing is keep your fingers in and let the knife right here slide off of your knuckle. I'm trying to see if I got this right. Yeah, I did. And yeah, that's if you practice it at first, you'll be real fucking slow at it, which you should be really fucking slow at it, because any knife can chop a fucking thing off if you hit it with enough pressure. But yeah, you'll be pretty slow at first, and then if you keep on doing this technique, then you can be fast as shit. Like when I do celery, I can just down it, because it doesn't only help the finger protection, but it helps gauge what size you want stuff to be at, and eventually you don't even have to think about that. Eventually you can just go and you're fine. But yeah, that's a little bit of knife stuff for me. I'm not going into any more detail than that. Container, please. That was supposed to be like a mock of Bitch Please, and it did not work. Oh, you want a little horror story? So I have Shunito knives. I'll pop a little picture up randomly of what they look like. They're Japanese steel knives. And I was doing a chili at my last job, and the knife, I was cutting the same way I usually do, but the knife slipped on an oregano stem. And mostly because like I was in a hurry and I wasn't paying enough attention to notice the damn stem in there. But it slipped on it and you could barely tell. Yeah, this nail's a little bit fucked now. And yeah, it took half of the nail and a big chunk of finger. So, you know, paying attention is good. I'm probably only going to use half of this onion, and I'm probably not even going to use all of that half. So I'm going to have to save the rest for future endeavors, which is why I always have extra fucking onion. That's gonna be like more than enough onion for this. And the rest of it I'll keep in this handy little like onion container that Erica got. I guess it's supposed to help preserve them. I don't know if it actually works, it just kind of seems like a Tupperware container to me. But it might. Oh god, garlic! By the way, I always smash garlic because it brings out more of the flavor. And if you ever have one that you can't like do this and get it to smash, because this is like minced garlic pretty much, add a little bit of salt and it weakens it up and it'll mash a lot easier after like 10 seconds. Alright, the next thing is thyme. Okay, so our veggie stuff is done. So we're good on that. So we're gonna actually make the batter. I'm gonna go check that water real quick while I got a little time here. We need to just get the beef in here, and then we'll start putting in the other ingredients. So we just have beef, just beef. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna add in all these veggies and stuff that I did. So the onion, the garlic, and the tomato. And I need to find gloves. Smashed in. Oh, yummy. Like massaging a fat guy. Next up, I'm gonna get rid of one of these gloves. We're gonna do some soy sauce. So that was probably like a tablespoon and a half a teaspoon. And about the same with Worcestershire. Also, I used to work with people that called Worcestershire wishy-washy sauce, and I still find myself calling it wishy-washy sauce, and I hate them forever now. We're gonna do some of the sea salt, pepper, and the most important part of this, we're doing eggs and breadcrumbs. I'm gonna have to gauge the eggs real quick. Yeah, I think 2 eggs. Yeah, 2 eggs. We need to mash this, and then I'm gonna gauge the breadcrumbs from there. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna gauge it by just having one hand free and one with the glove on until it gets to the right like consistency to make into balls. So this is our batter for the meatballs. It's pretty simple, but it's a very delicious meatball batter. And I think it's gonna be good. And since we're already off of the charger, which is a great idea, you know, last video didn't teach me anything. I think this water is close to boil. I don't have the preview on me. I can't even see if you guys can see this or not. But we're gonna put the pasta in there. Alright, so we are going to scoop out the meatballs, turn them in the balls, and then I'm going to just straight bake these off. Usually I would also like fry the outside a little bit and then bake them off, but I'm not really too concerned with it because it's going to be covered in like a cream gravy anyway. So we're going to do that. I actually remembered to preheat the oven. I didn't do it on camera, but I remembered to. That blew up. Alright, let's just scoop some balls. Oh, also, what's really good for this is if you have like a tiny ice cream scoop and you can gauge each one, which is what I usually use for these, but I don't own one. I do that at restaurants. So I'm gonna just use this spoon and just gauge. I think I'm just gonna cook this many of these guys off because the rest of the batter I have over here I'm gonna turn into a meatloaf for myself this week as like a just random dinner. So, but this is gonna be more than enough of the meatballs for this. And yeah, so let's get these guys in the oven. Alright, so we need to check out our nudes real quick. Which I do the old little taste thingy to check. I'm gonna need to get something else to pick those up. These are perfect. Don't you like the wet noodle cam? So we have about 10 minutes on the meatballs. So we're gonna do the gravy next. I'm gonna do a little bit of garlic in this gravy. Just because I want to, really. That's the only explanation to that. And yeah, I'll show you guys all the gravy steps. So let me just mince this up real quick and then we'll get over to that side. Alright, so to do a roux, you need equal parts butter to flour. So I have 2 tablespoons of butter here, which is going to be enough. I'm going to let that melt down. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter and we're going to let it cook a little bit together. And then I'm going to add in stock and such. Actually, I'm going to add in the garlic now. And I have thyme I'm going to add into this too, but it's going to be mostly at the end. And also, this is way too hot. So it's going to look like I put 4 of these in. I'm putting 2 tablespoons, it's a half tablespoon, so we're good. So let's get this guy going. And I'll try to show you guys what a roux looks like really fast, because this stuff can brown pretty quickly. Alright, this is a roux. It's what's in gravies and some stews and stuff. Now I gotta be quick as shit. Beef stock, broth, whatever. And I'm gonna gauge this with the beef broth. Basically, I mean that the roux is done in here, and now the stock's gonna cook with the roux, and it could get too thick, basically. So I'm going to let this little bit thicken up, see how much I need to add, and then at the end we'll add in the cream and some thyme and some salt and pepper. And yeah, so we're gonna give this time to thicken up. So let's get another little shot of what it looks like right now, and you can see the gravy making process. So it's starting to thicken up. I'm actually thinking this is a perfect consistency for this, which I have no idea how I got right the first time. I lied, it needs more beef broth. So now, while we have the slightest bit of time, I hate myself. While we have the little bit of time we have, we're gonna strip in some thyme and let it cook. A bit of salt and a bit of pepper. This is a better consistency for gravy, if you can see that. still needs a little bit of thickening up, but it's pretty good where it's at right now. I'm gonna add in just like a dash of heavy cream to this, because that's a Swedish meatball gravy basically. And then we're gonna check on the meatballs. And there's the timer for the meatballs. So a dash of this. Also, I never realized how much heavy cream I use in some of my recipes and stuff until I started doing this series, and I found that I was buying heavy cream a lot. Alright, I'm gonna give this gravy a little bit of a taste. Sorry, that's delicious. Alright, meaty balls, where we at? And bottom. So we are pretty much done with this now. The pasta, the meatballs, and some of the Swedish gravy. So let's get it set up, and then we'll go and try it. Pasta. Probably should have sprayed this. Alright, so I would suggest you spray the aluminum foil before you put the meatballs on, because I didn't, and good thing I have like pretty much chef hands, like some heat resistance going on, because that would have sucked otherwise. And the gravy. Alright, so let's get a shot of the finished food. And now let's go try this fucker. Ooh. Alright, so it's kind of become this unofficial thing that I just started having a beer at the end of all this. It just started with that pizza video, I think. But this one's a Starhill Golden Ale. This is the beer I like. Maybe I'll start including a different one in each thing. I don't know. Erica said I should do that. I could go either way. I don't always feel like beer, but we're gonna try this guy. With the nudes. Yep, that's my regular meatball recipe. So this one might have been shorter. It feels like there wasn't as much to do in this one as the last few. Usually these are like 20 minutes. I'll be surprised if this one reaches 20. But I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless. Next week is another paycheck. So I'll think about something that we can put a little bit more time into, I think. This one again was like budget time. So yeah, it is what it is. But it's really good. I mean, Swedish meatballs you can't really go wrong with. And that is the cooking video for this week. I'm still glad that you guys enjoy these. I'm still getting nice comments and likes and stuff on the video, which is awesome. And this does better than my gaming stuff does. Like every Tuesday, I get more consistent views with this than I ever did with gaming stuff. Like, I'm still putting that up because it's just, I like playing games, and that's always been something I want to do. But these are really fun, and thank you guys for enjoying them and leaving nice stuff in the comments for me to read. And I'm gonna finish this, and you guys have a good rest of your day. So, we are pretty much done with this. I just burnt myself on that tray. You stupid expansion. You're about 10 meters. Why does that sound like fucking Jimmy from South Park? I wanted to get. Damn it. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, a little bit of sneezing and dying. Oh, by the way. The onion. I'm gonna put this in the same onion container. Then I'm gonna get my eyeballs to stop being destroyed. Fucking take that onion juice. So this. No, let's not do that. Put your glove on. I am an idiot.